with Brad Scott, a local California dairy producer and also recent celebrity. Tell us about your recent TV experience.
Yes, I'm a fourth-generation dairy farmer from Southern California, and part of the checkoff, a lot of things we're always talking about is getting dairy producers to tell their story, and we put a lot of time into consumer confidence, and that's something that all dairy producers have the opportunity to do. But at the same time, I had a unique opportunity that came my way, was the TV show Undercover Boss. Wanted to show where Mint Cheese frozen yogurt originates from, which is the dairy. It is a dairy product. So our dairy, the milk, does go and makes that product. So when approached about it first, it's like, a reality show on a dairy, we're always so concerned about what goes on, and we don't want anything negative to come out. But the neat thing was, it was an opportunity. And we had the CEO out for a day. I was the only person that knew that we were doing Undercover Boss. My wife didn't know, the rest of the family didn't know, and of course my employee who was featured did not know. But it really turned out to be a great positive experience. All day, the CEO spent with my herdsman, following him around, seeing how he takes care of the cows every day. Actually did a calving. We actually named the calf after the CEO's stage name. So it was really a great experience. But I think what it shows is we cannot be afraid to show what we do daily on the dairy, because what we are doing is a very positive experience to show the consumers. Now, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from people that I don't know, who are not in the dairy industry, but did see the show and say, my gosh, we had no idea. We can see how passionate your employee is for the dairy industry, cares about what he's doing with the animals every day. So opportunities are out there for all dairy farmers. If they're not able to do this or never had the opportunity before, do the checkoff through their state and regions. There's a lot of help, information, and staff that can kind of, coach them along in the process.
Definitely, and your experience is not only great for your farm, but I'd say dairy farms all across the United States. And so I've heard about the Dairy Checkoff program and how through some partnerships you're helping dairy producers all across the states.
Yes, for many years, the Dairy Checkoff has been working on partnerships. Dairymen have said, well, we don't see the advertisements anymore. It's like, well, you're right, because generic advertising we found really does not work. So about 6 years ago, the business plan through the Checkoff Dairy Management changed the direction. And through that, we started working on partnerships. I think one of the early ones that we started with was McDonald's about 10 years ago. And that was something as significantly small as we now have the resealable single-serve milk chugs. Before it was the carton, if that was in the Happy Meals, or if the kid had that at the McDonald's, it wasn't a good experience. Now they have the chugs. Well, since then, we now have a full partnership at McDonald's. We now have 5 full-time dairy scientists on staff at McDonald's headquarters. And what that does is it assures that dairy is always a prominent part of the menu. When you go to McDonald's today and you see everything from the McCafes to the McFlurries to the cheese on the hamburger, it just goes to show the commitment of McDonald's, and they have said that they want to be the dairy destination. So, you got to remember they have around 27 million customers a day. So when we can get more dairy in that arena, it's just a win-win for everybody. We've also had a great success with Domino's Pizza. They put more cheese on a while back. Also, they now have their new Smart Slice Pizza. That now is a pizza that can be used in the schools. It passes the school standards, lower sodium on the salt, lower sodium in the cheese, so that way they can meet their demands. We also have a couple new partners now, one being Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats has a campaign called Make It With Milk, and through that what they're doing is getting the consumers to realize that you can use milk on your oatmeal. Less than 20% of the people use milk, they use water with their oatmeal. I had no idea. I grew up using milk. We all know that milk adds a lot of nutrients value to the oatmeal, but also makes it taste that much greater. So through their campaign, we're seeing growth through that. They had a pilot project with Safeway when they had their Make It With Milk campaign, that they saw a 5% increase in their stores during that campaign period. So it's really great to have Quaker online. They are also working on some other drinkable oats and dairy products combinations. So it's exciting to have them as a partner. I was just at the meeting yesterday where we now have a new one, a partner also, which is Taco Bell. Taco Bell is the largest fast food Mexican restaurant in the United States. They have around 35 million customers each week. They also are looking at adding an additional 2,000 stores in rural communities. So they're continuing to grow. We now also have a dairy scientist on staff with them also to work on new menu development. Currently, Taco Bell has 90% of their products already have dairy included, but they're looking at expanding on new dairy lines. So through these partnerships, through the checkoff, you can see that we are moving so much more additional dairy products. For every dollar the dairy industry invests, our partners are bringing $6 to the table. So they are a much larger partner in the financial respect, but at the same time, these have been so successful that their competitors, when they see what they do, they are now adding those same menu items, and we did not have to bring any money to the table. So it's really a win-win for everybody when we see how this partnership has built.
That's great. And so have you heard some positive feedback on this from the dairy farmers?
Yes, like yesterday I was at the annual meeting and we had Taco Bell there. We have to actually have the Smart Slice pizza. And I think when you explain it to dairy farmers, at first they don't understand, but when we have the opportunity to explain why they don't see the advertising, where that money is being invested, when we have $1 of ours come with $6 of the food industries, it shows that we're really leveraging the dairy producers' money even better. And when you look at the menu items, when you look at the dairy category growth in a lot of these restaurants, they understand it. The problem is they just need to have it explained to them, and then they kind of get it that, dairy producers traditionally think, well, we just put our products out there in the market. Well, at the same time, we know we have a lot of dairy out there, but we also know there's a lot of opportunity. And by creating these partnerships, we're basically capitalizing on those opportunities that are out there.
It's great. And so how can dairy farmers find out just more details about the checkoff program and the partnership?
They can go to dairygood.org, my checkoff also. Also, they can talk to their local state and region checkoffs. So like I said, they have a lot of resources there, not only for them as far as consumer confidence and telling their story, but just other things that is being done in their area. So from a local level also, there's a lot of information they can obtain.
Great. Thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you.